Hello, my name is Crystal Chibu and I'm your Hope Catalyst, and you're welcome to the HopeGrill, where we teach, infuse and experience hope. What do you do when people that are supposed to nurture, protect, shield you are the same people you feel abandoned you? My guest today on the grill is one that, in spite of all the things that I've tried to put her down, she's put her head up. She's an example of someone that, despite the parental negligence and not bringing out the beauty that should be in her, she's found treasures everywhere. Florence, you're welcome to the grill.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
It's good to have you on the grill. Your story is a very intriguing one. And I know that as a result of your story, you do family life. You're a family life therapist. You care very much about the girl child, and also that child that everyone seems to have put at the back side of life. There are a lot of people today that are watching you and do not know that story. Would you tell them who Florence is?
Okay, quickly. Florence is just one interesting child that grew up in a place they call the slum. Okay, I grew up somewhere in Ajegunle that is fantastic, where we feel that gold is found, where treasures are. And then growing up in a family of 6 that for some reasons, my environment is not such that children have expectations. That's the truth. So things like getting a hug from your parents, caring what we call I love you, care, those basic cares. Children got used to not having it and not expecting it. But for some reasons, I grew up to expect it and I didn't get it. So I guess that was why it affected me. So I grew up in a family where it became worse. When you have expectations and those expectations are not met, you know that you're missing something. Yeah. So I grew up as a child that wanted so much, he had got nothing. So it was as if certain things were just working against. I felt not loved, I felt not welcomed. I remember when I was about 4 or 5, and then I fell down. Funny enough, it gave me an everlasting mark on my tooth. And so something happened, and the next day my dad went through, I think he was sacked or something, and my mom had to go to a lot of things, and they said I was the evil child that brought about it. No wonder she has so many expectations and the likes. And things really got worse that we had to travel to the village. But then because... So did you relocate to the village? Or? Just 2 of us. Just 2 of us. My dad was still here in Lagos. And because I was said to be the root cause of what the family, of the predicaments that befell the family. And so I was the only one that was not sent to school. I remember coming back to Lagos after some years, and I couldn't communicate in how we locally communicated, like pidgin. So if you ask me, what's be your name? I'll be looking at you. This was someone that really grew up in Ajegunle, and I didn't understand the simple waiting be your name. So, which is basically, what is your name? What is your name? And so my other sister had to be my interpreter. And of course, you know how she would do. She would make jest of the situation. And the people asking me what my name was then knew my name. But they just know that Florence is back from the village and she cannot even express herself. That was the beginning of low self-esteem for me. And so she will not say it in my dialect that they're asking you what your name is. And then I would just laugh. I came about Florence as my name because my name was not coming up at all. They had no need for me to mention Florence. It wasn't the name that was popular in the house. Florence was the child that had nothing to offer. But Florissant was because we had a Florissant bulb, and my dad. Oh, you mean people were calling you Florissant? Oh yes. No, or you were calling yourself Florissant? I couldn't pronounce Florence. Florence sounded very difficult for me to pronounce. Wow. Yes, so I had to say my name is Florissant, and I came about Florissant because I was always hearing Florissant in the house. So I was practically learning how to speak again. I battled self-esteem until about, and if you call me Florissant, we'll fight. Because as when I now started, when I knew my name was Florence, it was until about 8 years ago, I had a program for a group of ladies that I was encouraged. I went through a lot because of my esteem issues, not accepted at home and all that. And I shared the story. And it was a young girl that gave me a different light to that said, when you were saying your name was Florence, you were not making a mistake because you're actually supposed to bring light to the world.
Wow.
That was the first time I saw a different meaning to that. But before that, in fact, my mentor still, when he wants to make jest of me, call me a Florence. Okay, so I remember several nights I had to sleep out. I remember escaping about 4 different rape incidents. As much as I hated rats, I had them as my bedmates. I remember working in the farm with my parents. My parents used to have a farm.
Are you saying that you were the only child that was not sent to school?
Interestingly, I was sent to school, but I was the only child that was not sent to a public school, which should have been required to brush up and bring me up from not being expressive, from not being not being able to speak and all that. So I was the only child that was sent to a school where directly beside my classroom was a heap of dirt. You know what you call pedestal now? It was a heap of dirt that people used to, that was a pedestal then. And that was the first time I saw prostitutes. The brothel was close to the place, and then the prostitutes would bring out their children, maybe 5 day feet, all kinds of things. And I used to tell people that my school was a public school, that the C was spelled with K. So I had other children going to public schools then, calling mine public. You get it? And I felt I needed more, because I needed something to brush me up. So it was like from fry pan to fire.
So how did you get out of all of this? Because for a child that, you know, couldn't even call her name, at some point went to a school that was at the backside of life, basically like no one caring for you.
Yeah.
How did you become this person that we can see today?
Grace found me, I must say. And I guess I consciously decided not to allow whatever that has happened to me to put me, just to put my back on the ground, like we know out there. I was just thirsty for something that I didn't have around me. I had this dream. A lot of things worked. At some point, I had to drop out of the university, you know, but for some reasons, I just found someone, okay, that felt there was something in me that, and that was the first time I experienced parenting, okay. Praise Forward took it up. And it was just, someone was just working and said, I'm going to one program that I just started like a few months ago. And I said, okay, let me join, and that was it. It was when I met with him that I picked up on a lot of things. And it was like, yes, I feel I can do more. Although my current situation, my current family, and whatever I'm going through now is not tilting towards that, but I feel there is more to it. So my meeting up with him changed a couple of things and picked me up from where I was.
Wow.
And at that point, I even met him. I was dating a guy that was a cultist, okay? All I needed was love, and I didn't have it. So that guy was the first person that said, I love you, even when he didn't mean it. And so I fell for that.
We will be right back. We'll go on a break. Welcome back. We're still with Florence, and she's sharing a life of how she, as a child, was neglected. But in spite of all of that, she's put her head up, and now she's helping other children experience love and parenting and helping bring families together. Florence, you said that guy was the first person to tell you, I love you. You said Praise was the one that helped you, and that was the first time you experienced what true parenting was. For you, what is true parenting?
Parenting is a process of nurturing and grooming. Recently, working with parents, I like to say that being a parent is a noun. Like when you say parent, that person is a noun. Parenting is a verb. Parenting is an action word. So parenting is bringing the best out of someone. Parenting is nurturing a seed. You have something very ordinary. So parenting is creating an extraordinary being out of an ordinary thing that has been given to you. Okay, and unfortunately, that's not what we have here. I didn't have that. I had parents, I had people that gave birth to me. But I must say that my life today has been a product of series of parenting that I've received from coaches and mentors around.
Wow. So that means you're saying that even if you're not getting, the kind of parenting you want from your biological parents, there are people in life that can still stand for you as parents and help you go through. You've been on this journey of, coaching and talking parenting and all of that. And why do you particularly love the girl child and you talk about the girl child so much?
I believe, funny enough, when I started out with the girl child, I didn't understand certain things. I read T.D. Jakes' book, The Lady I Love and I Lord, and I thought that the same measure that I've been helped, I should help other people. I saw a young girl that had every reason to use what she has to get whatever she wanted, and I decided to work. I decided to get my hands dirty and eat. And so growing up in an environment where you see girls saying that they just have to use their body to get what they want. So I felt, okay, let's just do this. You are very important to the society. Can I work with you to say that, okay, this was how I was able to overcome. Even before I found mentorship and the likes, I just felt that there was something about me. I mentioned that I dropped out of the university. Yes. I dropped out because the person that was going to pay my fees then said he was going to sleep with me to give me the money. Wow. I have a very private life. Even those that are very close to me, sometimes they just reach out to me, Florence, you don't talk. I have a very loud silence. You get
loud silence.
Yes. So I'm saying a lot of things without opening my mouth. So I was like that. Even my mentor was close to me. He didn't know I had dropped out of the university.
Wow.
For one, I do not like to be a bother to anybody. So I would just keep quiet and go through a lot of things. And the first time I was on television, that guy was the first person that called me. I had to drop out and get something doing with my hand, and I went back to school. You know what I said to myself? I said, I would rather walk my way through school than sleep my way through school. And so that was why I began to work. Yes, that was why I began to work with the girl child. Now, having been married now, seeing what motherhood is about, I think is even more important because as a girl, growing up to be a woman, you are bringing out generation. I carried my children for 9 months. My husband lost me, but he could not carry that pregnancy for 9 months. The best he could do for me was to sing love song and all that and help me massage my leg. But at that point, I was carrying the child. I could pass a lot onto the child. So that was why I picked up with the girl child, even wanting them to be the best. And then even as a married woman now, I felt we are very fundamental to the family as women. And so I'm still doing that.
There are children out there today that feel abandoned. They're not getting the kind of care they want from their parents, and probably they really feel like, maybe there's nothing, to life more than this. What would you tell those children?
You have a lot to life, and I'm an example, okay? The truth is, even the people that were not there for me, my parent, for instance, whenever my dad is aware that I'm going to be on radio, on TV, he calls the community
to come and
watch. Yes, and that was the first time I knew that success has got many parents, and So I want to tell everyone out there, the best your parents can do for you is to bring you to life. Even if there's an angle to it, I tell parents, you have to take up and up your game. But for every child out there that feels that they are being abandoned and all that, I want to appeal to them to take the best out of their life and do something. Mentorship is everywhere, but real mentorship, because we also have some that are not real. Yeah. So just get someone to talk to.
There's just a lot of mentors out there today that are probably not.
You are right.
They're not doing it right.
They are not doing it right.
And they also even take advantage of
a child's vulnerability. Okay, so I encourage children out there that are feeling abandoned. The first thing is to just get an identity and believe that you can make something out of your life. And the next thing you can do is just get a trusted person that can take you through that journey.
So if I want to be a good parent, I want to be better at what I'm doing, what are those tips you will give parents that want to just, especially in this age that we have very digital children. How would you say, we should parent, or what are the guidelines you would give us when it comes to our children?
Everybody can be a parent. Well, if you're okay biologically and you're married, you can be a parent, and if you're ready to have children. But parenting is an intentional process. So I want to appeal to people out there. I run something I call the smart parenting. And each time I'm with parents, I tell them, I am not teaching you parenting. I am bringing in perspectives that will help you. Having interacted with children over the years, it's been well over 10 years or thereabouts. Okay, so I want parents to know that they can get help. There are parenting experts out there. Why they get busy with their activities. If you're an accountant, you want to become a better accountant, I'm sure you attend a training on that. So I want to appeal to them because these things are evolving. Children are growing. We're in the digital world and the likes. So I appeal to parents to buy parenting books and read them. Be there for their children. I am aware that some parents are even at home, but they are absent. So when they are home, everybody will just face their gadgets and the likes. So spend more time with your children. Ask them what it is they expect from you. And above all, I like parents to understand that they have their lives to live. It takes someone that is whole to parent effectively. So one way to be an effective parent is to have your life intact. I like to also say that my mom today looks at us and she feels bitter. I see this bitterness. Even if at the end of the day, some of us didn't get the kind of parenting we expect. But she also felt she lost something. Somewhere. Okay, she's always wanted to be a fashion designer and she was never one. Okay, so I appeal to parents that one of the ways to parent effectively is for you to also get a life. Get a life. If you do well. I have 2 children today and I'm here on the studio. I'm at the studio, and then they're in school doing well. I have to live my life. When I'm happy, I can parent effectively.
So basically, you're saying it takes a whole parent to birth a whole child.
To raise an effective child.
Well, thank you.
And a child that will be important to society.
Thank you, Florence, for coming today.
The pleasure
I've learned so much, and I just hope that there's someone out there that is probably going through a situation and their lives have been turned around. We have a little gift for you. And you know, it's always a pleasure to see you.
Oh, same here.
And it was custom made for you from the cake shop.
My name is there.
Yes, your name is right there, Florence. Maybe we should have written another one, Florissant.
Oh, thank you so much. This is lovely. It's a pleasure. This is lovely.
And don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Florence, we have so many questions on Ask the HopeGrill today, and I just wanted you to, be a part of it. So okay. I've lost, the bonding experience that I have with my child, and I seem to have lost the connection, but I want to get it back. What would you advise that such a person should do?
Okay, the first thing and the most beautiful thing is the fact that you recognize the fact that you have lost it and you're willing to get it back.
Yeah.
Okay, I like to say that the same way you ask someone to be your friend, you can ask your child to be your friend, and you can ask for that bonding moment. I think it's okay to ask your child for forgiveness. You look at your child and say, "I'm so sorry. I think I should be there for you. I think I'm supposed to share a particular kind of relationship with you, but I'm sorry that I've not had it."
I mean, it's interesting with my kids. They just come, especially now. The children come to you and they just tell you, "I want time with you. I want to be your friend." They just really come and tell you the way it is.
In fact,
they don't.
If you have your children saying, "I want to be your friend," you are blessed, because some children will internalize it. That's where depression sets in for children, and they begin to talk to their friends. And when the predator discovers that vacuum, that's when abuse sets in also. So if you have a child that has come to ask you for friendship, bless God, and then initiate it, start it.
And I think today parents should just really have the, parent-child moment where you take your children out, and it doesn't have to be expensive.
No, it doesn't have to. In fact, we should do more of that. Take your children out, both boy, girl, and all that. Take them out on a picnic. Take them to the park. Have time with them. Discourse. Dialogue is one thing that has really gone down, and we do not think that our children can engage in a conversation. So a child is a being, only a growing one.
And
right?
recently I told somebody also, I'm like, you don't even have to go anywhere. You can create that atmosphere in your home.
house.
Put the mat on the floor or something. Let everybody sit down and you watch TV
In fact,
together.
that is fantastic.
And
put it on the floor.
Put it on the floor.
That's unusual.
Sit down.
And cheese.
Sometimes in my house, what we do is we just turn off the lights and we try to bring in the cinema into our home, and then we watch TV together.
You don't know what those children.
And for them, they think that, you know, they are.
We went to the movies
yes.
and all that, and that time is fantastic. It means a whole lot to them. So I want to encourage the families there to do the same thing. And at that time, you will be able to elicit a lot of things from the children. Parents that have been able to try that out, they realize that that's when they get more things that the children are going through. So nobody is up there, daddy up there, mommy up there. We are friends, and so we gist over popcorn and the likes. I say, okay, how was school today? Parents do not want to find out what is happening in their children's life. You need to find out who your children's friends are.
And who they are hanging out with.
And who they are hanging out with.
Very true.
And if possible, be friends with the parents of their friends.
Very true.
With that, you get to know the kind of families they're coming from, based on the values
while
that
your child is reacting.
And you don't know what it means to your
they
child. So imagine when your child is saying that, okay, mom is hanging out with Isabel's mom, dad is hanging out with Isabel's dad. You know, that makes them communicate. If anything wants to happen to them, trust me that the first person they would talk to. Yeah.
And we yet have another question. I have been recently diagnosed with breast cancer, in addition to having the financial needs for treatment. I am so emotionally down and depressed. I mean, if you are in this situation, just literally get help. There are a couple of organizations that work with cancer patients, and you can just identify them wherever you stay and let them help you go through the process. It doesn't have to be a death sentence. Cancer, depending on the stage which you are at, it can be taken care of. And then, you know, you will also get a lot of people that have gone through the same experience that can help you go through it. Quote of the week. Many of the life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. Thank you for joining us on the HopeGrill today. We really have had a good time talking parenting. And if you are not spending time with your family, it's good that you find a way to connect with your kids. Till I see you again, be hope, do hope, and give hope.